I'm Corbett Wall with DV Auction, here with your feeder flash for Tuesday, March the 14th, brought to you in part by a brand new sponsor, New Generation Supplements, manufacturers of Smart Lick feed in a drum and Mega Lick low moisture blocks and lick tubs. Research driven and field proven, they've got manufacturing facilities in South Dakota, Oklahoma, Nevada, Iowa, and Tennessee, and a network of over 2,000 dealers throughout the U.S. and Canada. For more information, go to newgensupplements.com. Also, Beaver County Stockyards, another big sale for them. They just keep getting cattle. 3,500 to 4,000 head by the time they get them all rounded up. They'll have 900 to 1,100 calves, heavy on the 4 to 6 weights. About 80% of those will be weaned. A lot of stocker types for your grass needs there, guys. And then 2,500 to 2,700 yearlings. A lot of the yearling cattle will be 7 to 8 weight steers and 6 to 7 weight heifers. Going to have 12 straight loads of yearling steers in the mix, 8 straight loads of yearling heifers. 2 loads of those heifers are going to be coming out of Texas. They're replacement quality heifers, as fancy as you'd want. All black, ready to go for you. Got a good run of cows, including in the cow run. They're going to have a 200 head consignment of bred cows and pairs. Be 80 head, 4 to 8 year old P3 cows. Got their working clothes, guys, on. They're thin. It's been dry in that country, but if you've got something for them to eat, get in on those. 45 of those would be 4 to 8 year old pairs. Buying opportunities. And not many buying opportunities in the cattle market right now, but we do have buying opportunities that are arising, and mostly on the board. If you guys want to take a Texas hedge and own cattle and go long the board, be a good opportunity to do that. It's oversold right now, and not sure why it's doing that, other than the people that trade the board are looking for seasonal weakness. Well, it might be that time of year, but everything's changed. The complexion of the cattle business has changed, and we are still very, very short on market-ready cattle, fed cattle, extremely short on other classes of feeder cattle and stocker cattle. It's just really short right now. It's time to get in. It's time for that board to take off, but it's just been sinking back here many trading sessions of late. Also, we'll have some buying opportunities arising because the Silicon Valley Bank collapse has got everything kind of depressed right now. I wouldn't call it a black swan, but it doesn't have anything to do with the cattle business, and I think it'll blow over here, guys. Looks like we're going to bail that deal out too. But your packers are no longer short bought. They've had a couple of weeks here of pretty good volume getting in there. Been buying a fair amount, not more than usual, but a fair amount of cattle for the 2 to 4 week delivery too. That kind of gives them a little foothold, and that's part of the reason that we weren't able to gain any ground in the Southern Plains last week, and we weren't able to get the 166 that they wanted the week before last. But we're still in a good spot right now. Your cattle feeders still have the leverage. But, you know, it's just moderating out a little bit here, and it's going to do that as we go through this long rally that I believe is going to last much longer than what we've seen. And we're still just in the infant stages of these tight supplies, guys, and we are going to be trading on a whole new kind of a market. Let's talk about your board on Monday, and I told you the board was down. April live cattle futures down 72 cents at 163.55. June down 45 at 158.20. Your back months were down from 7 cents to down 65. March feeder cattle down 65 cents at 190.82. April down 57 at 197.07. Back months were all down too, down 32 cents to as much as $1.17. March corn was up, but only a quarter cent a bushel at 624.5. December new crop down a half cent a bushel at 557.25. Soybeans for March down 13 cents at $15 even. Look like they may be dipping down into the 14s, guys. Weighted average on last week's negotiated fed cattle trade direct basis out of your 5 area feeding region was 64,100 head. Not great, but fairly decent. That compares to 72,400 last week or the previous week, and 70,900 the same week a year ago. Live sales of steers and heifers in your 5-area feeding region range from 161.5 to 168. Hardly any at 161.5, only 35 head. 168 had 859 head at that level. But that price range there is 50 cents to $1 higher. All in the northern plains. Southern plains was absolutely steady at 166. Your weighted average on live steers in your 5-area feeding region was 165.40, up just 38 cents. Dress sales ranged from 262 to 268.50, less than 600 head at the 262. Most all the cattle brought 265 to 266, and your weighted average was 265.32, up 89 cents, where that 268.50 on the top end was as much as $3.50 higher. Nationwide negotiated sales was 79,900 compared to 90,500 the previous week and 83,300 the same week a year ago. Your negotiated volume or negotiated grid volume was 35,200. Forward contracting was 38,900. Formula sales 273,500, piggybacking on that negotiated trade there. But of the 79,900, about 20,300 or about 25% of those was for the 2 to 4 week delivery. Wish they would quit doing that. In your 5 area, or we don't get anything out of Colorado, out of the 4 areas, Iowa sold 24,200, Nebraska 22,700, Kansas just 10,400, and Texas only 6,800 head of negotiated sales. Box beef cutout values for Monday afternoon were kind of mixed. Your choice was down just a nickel at 284.86. Selects were up 208 at 273.62. Both of those are still records for this time of year, record highs, guys, so it's not depressed at all. Slaughter for Monday was estimated at 125,000 head. That's pretty decent. Night Latch Group wants you to hold on to your investments, and you can get a gross margin livestock policy there, and you can hedge the risk on your cattle and your corn. Tell you what, guys, they're the ones that know how to make that work, and that works for cattle on feed, not just background in cattle and your LRPs. Go to nightlatch.net. Talk about your feeder cattle market, your real-time index on DV auction late in the afternoon on Monday, sitting at 190.88, down 13 cents, and it was a little bit easier in a few places there. But coming to you here from Houston, Texas at the Houston Livestock Show and Rodeo, we spent several $1,000s coming down here to load another pig on the truck. I don't know why we don't just flag that truck down when it comes by Amarillo. It'd be so much easier. But we still had a good time, and here's my daughter when hopes were still high with her pig before we went into the sift. Talk about your big sales on Monday. Oklahoma National Stockyards in Oklahoma City, 7,000 head there. Feeders were mostly steady to $2 lower, and I told you it was a little bit weaker there. First time we've really seen your major call in Oklahoma City lower. Heavyweights were lightly tested, they said. Steer calves were steady to $4 higher, including your stalker types. Heifer calves under 500 pounds were steady to $2 higher. Over 500-pound heifer calves were $4 to $8 lower, and we are starting to get quite a few new crops in there, and that's pressuring your calf market quite a bit. Had a stick-out sale in Oklahoma City. National Livestock sold 66 head, 483-pound stalker steers at $260-$250. Pretty impressive quote there. How about Joplin Regional Stockyards? 7,800 head for them. Market on feeder steers was steady to $2 higher. Feeder heifers were rather uneven, ranging from $3 lower to $4 higher. Stick-out sale in Joplin, 69 head of steers weighed 616 at $228. Joplin was also your Zoetis stick-out sale of the day with several big quotes here and many weight groups that were well tested. You look at your Cattle Market Central. automated auction report here, and you see 577 head of 4-weight steer calves in Joplin, average 460 pounds at 235.45. 687 head of 5-weight steer calves, average 543 with a weighted average price of 221.08, guys, in Joplin, Missouri. How about 1,222 head of 6-weight steers, average 649 with a weighted average price on all 1,200 plus of those at 205.85. 663 head of 7-weight steers, average 739 with a weighted average price of 193.32. One big swath of heifers was your 6 weights. 1,063 head of 6-weight heifers, average 650 pounds, weighted average price on them 191.57. To give you some individual quotes, how about Sioux Falls Regional Livestock in Worthing, South Dakota. DV auction customer there, guys, if you guys are interested in viewing or bidding on their sales. But look at this stick out on big heavy feeders. 147 head, weight 1052 at 175.60. About Callaway Livestock Center in Kingdom City, Missouri, sells 70 head of steer calves, weight 563 at 260.50. But the best quote that I heard anywhere on Monday in your Macrocin, no BS, top quote for the day, come out of the little market with big prices. Sylvan Sales Commission in Sylvan Grove, Kansas there. Toby Meyer sells 82 steers, weighed 719 pounds at 213. And that's your feeder flash for Tuesday.